from the Martian to Artemis, you wanted to improve the characterization and the way that the character changes throughout the
personality
book.
And
personality.
Depth, like complexity, and then also character growth.
And so from Artemis to Project Hail Mary, what was your main focus? Were you trying to like scale back the flaws, or what were you focusing on?
Well, basically, so my goal in Project Hail Mary was, I had what I considered a kick-ass situational plot. Right? Like, so the challenges that he was going to face and the things that were going to happen, I thought this will carry the reader, this is good. But I also wanted to make a character who is flawed but likable. Right? And so Grace's flaws are like, his flaws are that at times he's a little naive. At times he's a little... maybe a little too trusting when he shouldn't be, and these sorts of things. And also, he has character growth that I don't want to spoil for you later in the book. Another challenging thing for me has always been character interplay, like character interactions, which is, of course, a very important aspect of writing. And I've always felt like, in The Martian, there's a lot of scenes at NASA where, the NASA folks are talking to each other. And I gave them all kind of slightly unique personalities, but I couldn't really service the characters because I didn't want to spend a lot of time there. And also I suck at it. So there's not a lot of differentiation between the NASA characters. And their conversations are all just kind of blend together. And it's like, who said this? Who said that? I don't care. It's an exposition dump anyway. And so I wanted the concept of personal interactions among people who are very different personalities. And I got that in two places in Project Hail Mary. In the Project Hail Mary, for those of you who haven't read it and have decided to listen to a monumentally spoilerific podcast about it, it has two main time settings. There's the present, where it's our hero on the ship trying to do his mission, and then he has flashbacks to the past. And in the segments in the past, he does a lot of interaction with a character named Strat, and she's the person who's been put in charge of basically making the Hail Mary project happen. And in the present, he has a lot of interactions with Rocky, the alien. Yeah. And so I got my fix of character interactions, and I feel like I did a good job on that this time. So we'll see what the readers have to say. Also, a side note, I am a huge hypocrite because I frequently say how much what's that?
I said same. I'm also a huge hypocrite.
Yeah, I'm a huge hypocrite because I always say how much I hate flashbacks in stories. Hate them. And then here, this book is like half flashback. So I'm like a complete hypocrite. But in my defense, I'll say this. What I hate about flashbacks is they're often used as a tool for exposition. So oftentimes you'll be watching a movie, cool stuff's happening, now we have a flashback to how this guy met his wife, and it's just a bunch of boring-ass crap that doesn't advance the plot. It's just there to tell me about his character.
We had to fill 22 minutes for the episode, so here's like a 3-minute flashback. Yeah.
Or they just wanted to convey information to you in a way that was easy for the writer. It's like, oh, okay, so we're going to have a flashback now. There's an interesting plot that's advancing that stops dead so that we can have this flashback, which is kind of like being told, which is kind of like when you're 10 years old, you're out playing with your friends and your mom tells you to come clean your room. It's like, it's that feeling. It's like, ugh. Yeah. So my story is all the flashbacks. The flashbacks also advance the plot. That's the important thing. Things are happening in the flashbacks that solve mysteries or open new mysteries, or the reader is hope, if I did it right, they are as engaged in the flashback sequences as they are in the present sequences.
Yeah. I would say that's the case for sure.
That's the hope.
So you said that your goal was to make Ryland flawed but likable. Yeah. And I can't help but think that he's flawed and likable, or just he's likable because he is flawed. I wouldn't like him if he knew exactly how to get out of every single problem, or he was fixing everything perfectly. And I kind of had I was thinking a lot about this during quarantine because I was by myself most of the time, and also trying to date online with dating apps and stuff like that. Because I was I like people. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm sitting by myself. I'm like, what did I think of this date? I have more time to reflect on it, and I'm like, I like this person, and their flaws are standing out to me much more than the Instagram-y stuff that they do. I just like the little quirks or maybe the weird shit about her is what pulls me in. And so I feel like people are always trying to get rid of their imperfections, which I am no stranger to. But when I'm meeting other people, I say, oh, I like this person because they're weird in their own way. That's why I want to hang out with them more, because they're not like every other person I met. And so, yeah, I think he's flawed and likable, or likable because he is flawed, not at least to me. I don't think he's likable despite being flawed. I see that kind of going hand in hand or enhancing each other.
Cool. I'm glad. Yeah. So I just, so this time that was a big priority for me. And also, I mean, Rocky also has character depth to a certain degree. You can't really know exactly how an alien thinks and stuff. And there's a language barrier between them, but they are able to talk pretty well after a while. Mm-hmm. But even then,
they figure out their own little way to do it. Yeah. So speaking of language, the protagonist Ryland, he has soft language. I would say, like, he doesn't
swear.
Curse. Yeah, and you find out what the reason for that is in the book. So for you, if you woke up in a situation like Ryland, and he's using these clues about himself, like soft language, to try to like basically piece together how he got to where he is, what do you think some clues about yourself that you would realize, like, oh, I do this, I must be a writer, or oh, I do this? Like, are there any things you suspect that would be early clues to, like, I'm Andy Weir, the author of The Martian, Artemis, and Project Hail Mary?
I would probably never realize that I was a writer. The way I think about things, I would probably think that I was an engineer or a scientist. I'd be like, oh, I know a lot of physics and science and stuff. That must be what I do.
So based on your initial thoughts, you think very scientifically, and it would take you a long time at least to figure out you were a writer, or you had a creative job.
Yeah, and if somebody came up and said, like, oh yeah, you're an author, you write science fiction novels, I'd be like, no, come on, really? Yeah. What do I do, really?
But you'd have to figure out eventually that you were a writer in some capacity. You'd feel some craving to write or do something maybe creative, or you don't.
Although if I was in a situation like that, I probably wouldn't see. Most of my creativity comes when I'm bored. Daydreams are kind of the beginning of all my stories. And if I was in a situation like Ryland, I wouldn't have time for that.
Yeah.